Do I have to do? Jam, 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 jam. Ooh, you can dance too. That's the way his name is Magic.
Magic Man, the tennis preacher, prophet, psychic, coming back at you again with another video. People, I got a couple questions from FedEx. Shout out to FedEx. FedEx is one of my favorite Federer fan subscribers because he's really rational. FedEx is actually one of the only He's actually one of the only Federer fans who actually came back when I was analyzing who was the GOAT between Federer and Rod Laver. FedEx was he was the only Federer fan that really came back and said, man, Magic Man. I mean, he surprised me. He went farther than I thought. He said, now I don't know what FedEx thinks now that Federer has won 20, but he said, man, it's not clear to me either that Federer is greater than Rod Laver. I mean, and he said maybe Rod Laver is greater than him. And I'm saying my stand on that is that I'm not really sure who's the greatest between those right now. So, but we'll have to see. But I'm just saying that I like really rational. You know, I really like really rational. I love rational people. I don't care if you disagree with me, but I love really rational people though. So I'm going to give FedEx a good answer here. Now FedEx, he asked me a question about all this whole thing about the GOAT. This thing I've been saying about GOATs have like there is a certain GOAT mentality no matter who you are. So in this whole thing I brought up about Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali having that how you say, that killer instinct, assassin's mentality. And so FedEx, he asked me or just that mindset. There's a certain mindset that a GOAT has. And so FedEx asked me, he said maybe, I think there's another subscriber or Federer fan he's been putting out that there are different type of GOAT mentalities. So FedEx asked me, the first question he asked was, well, Magic Man, isn't that true? Can't GOATs have different mentalities? Okay, people, that's a trick question. And let me tell you why. Okay, let me say this, people. Of course, there's different type of GOATs. You got some GOATs that allow, they'll straight tell you, like they said Michael Jordan, he would tell you the day before that he gonna hit 60 points on you. Okay? Of course, Federer ain't that type. And plus that's tennis too. In tennis, I don't think, well, some tennis players may talk that way in the locker room. I mean, you got those kind of GOATs. I call them, they're straight up in your face type. Okay? But and then you got like Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras, man, Pete Sampras he was a quiet assassin. Listen people, Pete Sampras was actually quieter than Federer. But Pete Sampras was an assassin in his mind. So let me answer the question here. Listen, there is only one type of really GOAT mentality, even if it is expressed in different ways. See, listen, people, even if you are quiet GOAT, you still got like an assassin's mentality. They call it the quiet assassin. They call Stephen Curry the basketball player. They say he's a quiet assassin. You know, Stephen Curry won the NBA MVP a couple years ago consecutively. So they call him the quiet assassin. So some assassins allow like a Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan, not quite as loud as Ali, but he would be in that category. Then you got assassins like a Pete Sampras, who is like the quiet assassin. But Pete Sampras, you can see it in his face. He's still an assassin though. But then you say, well, Magic Man, but isn't that still a different mentality? Isn't that a different mentality? No, the mentality is the same now. Now, let me say something about Federer. This is the only thing I don't like that Federer fans are doing now. They're trying to twist my argument all kind of ways here. People, listen, check this out. The reason why Federer has re-emerged, people. He's become, see, this is what Federer fans are doing. They are trying to take Federer into some category saying, well, he has a different type of GOAT mentality. He got more of an artistic, and he ain't really the fighter, and he ain't really the assassin. You people, you guys are wrong. I'm finna say something to shock y'all. Now, he may not have it as much as Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. Listen, people, the reason why Federer is beating Nadal now, y'all remember I made a video the other day saying that G.O.A.T has done a great job. People, G.O.A.T brought out, and it's a quiet assassins. G.O.A.T, remember I told y'all G.O.A.T is more mentally based. When G.O.A.T took over, y'all remember I told y'all the day before Federer beat Nadal in the Australian Open last year, everybody was thinking Federer was going to lose. G.O.A.T told Federer, he helped Federer with the assassin's mentality. Now, it was a quiet assassins, but Federer in the last year or so, he has become more like, this is what Federer fans don't realize. Federer has become more assassin. He's become more like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali than he was before. That's why he's beaten Nadal 4 times. But let me get back to what G.O.A.T has brought. G.O.A.T has brought a more mentally based game, a more assassin's game. Even though it's a quiet assassin, it's a more killer instinct. Remember, G.O.A.T told Federer the day before he beat Nadal in the Australian Open, and Federer hasn't been the same since. G.O.A.T said, you got to be free of this guy in your mind. You got to get Nadal out of your head first. See, actually, and let me finish what G.O.A.T said now. He said you got to go for your shots. You got to be free, or you're gonna lose against Nadal. So Federer freed up. And see, now listen, people, when Federer freed up and got Nadal out of his head, the killer instinct that he already had came out. So y'all remember when Federer was down 3-1? That was Michael Jordan. That was like Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. You remember Federer was down 3-1? That wasn't that's not like what the Federer fans are putting out. They putting out, see what the Federer fans are doing. Instead of them acknowledging, saying, hey, Magic Man, you're right. Federer, he does need more of the Michael Jordan stuff, but he has shown, see, this is what Federer fans should have said. They should have said, Federer has shown more Michael Jordan stuff in the last year. That's why he's beating Nadal. He waxed Nadal in Indian Wells. He waxed. That's Michael Jordan level. Now it's a quieter assassin. But man, actually, that was rather loud as far as the play. That aggressive play, taking the backhand, that's killer instinct. That's not that old pussy stuff they talking about. Federer, well, he's an artist, and he's not a fighter. Yes, Federer is a fighter. You Federer fans, y'all are being unfair to because y'all are trying to disagree with me. Y'all trying to say something about Federer that's not true. Federer is a fighter. He does have a killer instinct. It's not, but it's coming out now because he's let go of the arrogance. He's let go of the how you say this? He's freed himself of Nadal, like G.O.A.T said. So G.O.A.T, there was a couple Federer fans that said that your coaching style wouldn't work against Federer. Yes, it would. Let me tell you why. Because G.O.A.T is already doing it. A more mentally based game, freeing your feet. First of all, I would have got Federer to free himself of Nadal. G.O.A.T has already helped him do that. So to get to my point is, Federer has become more like Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan in the last year. Y'all go to that 5th set in the Australian Open against Nadal. That was assassin. He down 3-1. He started hitting those backhands under pressure, people. That's killer instinct. But he had to, first of all, get Nadal out of his head. So I'm right there. Basically, I probably should have said that in the video, the first video I made. He's become more like Michael Jordan. But he needs to be even more. If he got even more, I'm telling you, it'll be even tougher. And even when he was down with Chilich in the 5th set, I know he was lucky. Like he said, his level came back. But he did buckle down. He didn't rush that first game where he held his serve. So So he did show some killer instinct in that 5th set. Not as much as the Muhammad Ali, not as much as a Michael Jordan, but he showed more than he used to show when he used to lose against Nadal. Okay, so that's that right there. But there's only one type of assassin's mentality, though. Now, it can be expressed in different ways. Some express it without. Some people, like I said before, they express assassin's mentality by trash talking. Some people don't say a word. They just get out there and whoop your ass. Okay, people, now the second question FedEx asked me, this is a little tricky too. He said, well, FedEx said, well, if Federer would have had the killer instinct, what his career, maybe he would have beaten Nadal more, but his career would have ended shorter. Listen, man. Listen, people, there's a negative and positive about Federer playing long. People say, oh, Federer, he got the longevity and his body has lasted so long. Listen, people, he's still wearing his body down. People, if Federer would have been like Michael Jordan, Federer would have had like 35 majors. If he would have been like Michael Jordan, had that killer instinct that he got now, not as much as Michael Jordan, but he does have more of the Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant killer instinct and Muhammad Ali killer instinct. If he would have had the mentality that Lubacek has helped him get right now, if he would have had that, he would have been able to retire early with 35 majors, save his body. See, what people don't understand, man, Federer, he still has a lot of wear and tear on his body. Tennis is not really good on your body. When Federer gets to be 65, I know he's playing, looking all good now. He's going to feel the arthritis and all that stuff. So if he would have had the killer instinct, say if he wouldn't have lost against Nadal all those times, he would have already had 31 majors or something. He could have already retired. No. You all got it backwards. Y'all got to understand, man. Federer had a lot of ups and downs in his career. During the Djokovic era, and then when Nadal and the Djokovic was raveling it out, Federer, man, he was just sort of making it to the semis, maybe skipping into the finals here and there. But man, he lost a lot of years there. I mean, imagine if he would have been top level like a Michael Jordan. Y'all remember I said like Michael Jordan? After Michael Jordan's first or second year, he was top. He stayed top. If Federer would have stayed #1 for like 8 years straight, he could have retired early. That would have saved his body more. I think that's what FedEx is asking me on that second question. If Federer would have went ahead and won all those majors early, not being tripping in the head with Nadal. See, in other words, the reason why Federer is playing a long time, people, y'all looking at that as a positive. He shouldn't be playing this long. The reason why he's having, see, look, it took him a long time to get the 19. He should have got the 19 back in 2000, maybe 2013. He should have had 19 majors back then. Okay, people, tennis preacher, tennis prophet, tennis scientist.